following is a public service announcement. Election day is near. Go to the polls and vote. Vote for the Kennedy of your choice, but vote.
He's just ignorant. He doesn't know any better than to tell the truth.
It's the truth. I just want to report the truth. It'll be a nice change of pace, okay?
When in doubt, tell the truth.
Edward, I tried to tell the truth, and they kicked me off the air.
You can't handle the truth!
And now, speaking the truth, even though it hurts. Here's the host of The Truth Must Be Told, Sal Passos.
Well, hello, and welcome to The Truth Must Be Told. I have been trying for over an hour to get this working, and I'm still getting a warning that the stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. I can't do anything about that right now, so let me know if you can see and hear me okay. I'm a little frustrated with everything today. It's very annoying, but what can I say? All right, well, welcome. And for those of you who didn't get that reference I gave from, that is from an album by a guy named Vaughn Mader. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Okay, excuse me. All right, before we begin, I want to express to those who have been devastated by the Hurricane Helene that you are in our prayers. And we definitely need to pray for them. Also, I want you guys to pray for Israel. Israel is in a mess right now. They are being attacked consistently. I have now downloaded an app onto my phone, and I actually went live on Facebook with this, and then the Facebook was messing up as well. So I don't think the devil wants me to have this podcast tonight, but that's the way it goes. All right, so anyway, I've downloaded this app called Red Alert, and what it does is it shows you the different alerts and the different, I don't know if I can get the camera to focus on that, but it shows you the different alerts as to what's happening in Israel right now. The 4 hours ago was the last attack. It was Yarka in Upper Galilee under rocket fire. It lets you know, it gives you an alert, and if one comes through while we're talking, I'll pass that along to you. Now, go to the polls and vote shtick that I played. That was from an old recording, and I had actually put the cover up here. This is Vaughn Mader. It's called The First Family. It is available on YouTube. For you old timers like me, go ahead and listen to that if you've never heard it. Vaughn Mader and a cast of others, including, I think, Chuck McCann is on there. You'll recognize his voice for those of you Chuck McCann fans. They spoofed the Kennedy family, and it was quite funny. In fact, JFK himself once said that during an event that Vaughn Mader wasn't available, so they sent me. And it was a time when people could laugh at themselves and not be offended by comedy, and boy, has times changed, huh? What used to be funny is now offensive. And but I'll get back to this later. Now, I've entitled this podcast, I was going to record this, and I was going to call it, and I probably will still call it, To Whom Shall We Go? That'll be the episode that will be played on the podcast that you see on these podcast audio platforms. And also on Rumble. You can catch me on Rumble, Espassos1 on rumble.com. I would definitely suggest you plug that into, because I don't know whether YouTube is going to ban me, especially after today. Let me go on with what I have here, and then we will touch on what's really hurting me and really bothering me, which made me want to jump on live here. And it's taken me over an hour to get this live stream working, as I said. All right, so what we got here, and please feel free to put your comments in. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. That would be very, very helpful to me. Hit that subscribe button and like so you don't miss an episode. We're going to be trying to get more episodes out and do more things. So if you could please make sure that you do that, it would be great. Anyway, to whom shall we go was an answer by Peter. Okay, in John chapter 6, Jesus was teaching some very hard teachings about his body and blood. And a lot of his disciples went away. Remember, there was about 120 disciples that hung out with him, and only the 12 stood. And here at verse 66 says, "From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked with him no more. Then Jesus said to the 12, do you also want to go away?" But Simon Peter answered and said, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. And we also have come to believe and know that you are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And the King James puts that a little bit differently. It said, "We know and are sure that you are the Christ, the Son of the living God." He was acknowledging Jesus' messiahship. And, okay, so for those of you, I'm getting a warning. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So if you get buffering, please bear with me. I'm not going to stop this again. I'm going to go on with it. All right, so Jesus was telling them this hard message. Now, Peter's answer was very profound, and it's profound then, and just as it is now. And I've been wrestling with many things over the past few weeks. I know that's no excuse for not putting out a program, but there are so many things going on, and it's very, very confusing. However, Peter's answers rings true today. To whom shall we go? Now, we know that the election is coming up in less than a month or so. All right, the battle lines have been drawn. I want to cover a few things with you. I think maybe some of you may be thinking I'm telling you conspiracy theories. Well, maybe. But look what's happened since July 13th. Okay, on July 13th, Trump was shot. Biden resigned. Benjamin Netanyahu came to Washington to speak, and it's snubbed by Biden and Harris. Riots break out in Washington because of it. They even sabotaged the hotel he was staying in at the that famous one down the Watergate. All right. Kamala is installed as candidate despite of receiving no votes. You know, talk about democracy. They always talk about how, he's going to destroy democracy. Yeah. Okay. A second attempt is made on Trump's life. In spite of the former attempt, the fact that Iran wants to kill him, he still is being denied additional protection that he needs. And speaking of protection, Israel is under attack, and I explained that to you again, and we're not helping them. They said that they sent stuff out to them, but I don't see it, and I'm not sure what's going on. So bear with me. All right. People of the South have been impacted by the hurricane, and again, there's more to the story that came out today, which is very, very annoying. And this Hurricane Helene, it was like it was massive, okay? And the government's not doing a thing. And the question has to be raised, why haven't the feds been doing little or nothing about this damage here? Well, let me say something to you. All right, and I do have a video, but I don't know whether I'm going to play it or not. I'm not quite sure. But there is just some crazy stuff going on, all right? What's been coming out today has been very, very annoying. There have been quite a few. Where is my X? Okay, here it is. There's been quite a few things that have been going on and problems. Where am I here? My bookmarks. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're seeing here, let me put you on the screen. Screen 2, here we go, and bring up my handsome face so we don't get any copyright issues. All right, so here is the death toll from Hurricane Helene appears to be so far surpassed 200, as FEMA announced they do not have the funds to help Americans make it through the hurricane season. And this is due to the fact that $640 million in FEMA administered funds have been spent on illegal immigrants. Okay, this is horrible. And this is the massive. Let me mute that so we don't get the copyright thing. But I know a lot of you have seen this on the news. But look at the devastation that is taking place here, and it's very, very annoying. It's very sad as to what's happened there. And there's a big controversy because today there were things sent out, videos are coming out that private helicopter pilots, private citizens who are coming in to help, okay, to help rescue people, are being told that if they go in there, they're going to be arrested. Not like they're in the way. One guy went in with his helicopter. He took a lady out, and when he landed to let her off and go back to get the woman's husband, he was told, if you go back, you're being arrested. If you bring that husband back, you're being arrested. He said, well, I got to go back and get my co-pilot, who happened to be his son. And he went back and get the son back, but he had to leave the guy there. So as far as I know, the guy's still stranded there. But they're stopping people from coming in, and it is very, very sad. I don't know what's going on. But these are other reports that I'm hearing, and let me see if I can do this. Let me get over to here and go to my what's-its here. Playlists. Here we go. And let me show you this video. So just bear with me a little bit. Now, again, I can't help the this lady in here that curses a little bit, so just bear with me on that. Listen to this. This is from a YouTube channel called Minutes of Horror. But listen to what he has to say.
I'm talking about the powers
here.
that be, but scientists, researchers, and so forth have told us time and time again they can manipulate the weather. They can create very powerful storms, monsters. The government has been manipulating the weather ever since the 1930s, if not before then, under such projects like Operation Storm Fury and Operation Cirrus. So it's definitely no secret, and I'm sorry if I sound a little hoarse or chalky. It is because I'm actually getting sick and my throat hurts very, very bad at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna skip by a lot of this stuff here, but here's something that I thought was interesting. Okay, Albemarle, okay, and Martin Marietta signed an innovative agreement for the beneficial use from the Kings Mountain mine. Now, this company owned the Kings Mountain mine, which is in one area there in North Carolina that these people are they want the lithium that's under the ground there. All right, let's go on.
Their rounds in the news lately here in the United States, where I'm from, certain items with lithium inside have been catching on fire. Then I believe there was a port that had cases of lithium, which also caught on.
Let me go on to this.
Carolina has a lot of lithium deposits. Do you see where I'm going at here? There is a corporation that really wants these lithium deposits. That corporation is called Albemarle Corporation. Now, Albemarle is owned by both BlackRock and Vanguard. That shouldn't be very surprising because BlackRock and Vanguard have their hands in everything. But the reason why the Albemarle Corporation said they wanted these lithium deposits was to create lithium batteries for EVs, electronic vehicles. And you have to remember, electronic vehicles are very important to the powers that be, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and so forth, when it comes to the 2030 agenda. Matter of fact, last month in September, the World Economic Forum and the United Nations met to speed up the 2030 agenda. So these lithium deposits in North Carolina, again, are very, very important to the powers that be and their agenda.
Be invited for the meeting when we meet for the 20th Governance Summit. You will use the app like Uber, but not anymore to call some driver, but automatically guided car, a self-driven car, will come to your hotel or wherever you are and will bring you to the airport. No, Los Angeles is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic, who told me in 2030 Los Angeles will be private car driven free. This will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
2 years.
All right. Before he goes on, yeah, that is Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab's father was friends with Hitler. Klaus Schwab, and amazingly too, he's got an eagle back there, which that's kind of what the Germans had. And Klaus Schwab kind of reminds me of some kind of a Austin Powers villain. But he is head of the World Economic Forum. He wants to destroy. He thinks that China is the great model for a world economic society, a world political society. Look at what's going on in China, and you ask me if that's what you want. And he is the head of the World Economic Forum, like I said, and he's not a good guy. Okay, so the residents in the area, they want, they're concerned if the mining restarts in Kings Mountain. You can view this as you want, but I wanted to get to what this lady said. And forgive me, she does use a curse in here, but this is something that you need to see and you need to understand. And she brings up a very good point. So let me play her.
Suspicious as shit that one of the areas affected by Hurricane Helene is the world's largest lithium deposit, and the DoD just entered into an agreement with this company right here to mine lithium for electric cars starting in 2025. Now that area is completely devastated. This is a $90 million agreement between the DoD and this company right here to get Kings Mountain, North Carolina lithium mine up and running by 2030. If that area has been inundated, is in a disaster zone, then the government can come in and do eminent domain, and they can pay you what it was worth 5 years ago rather than what it's worth right now. Imagine that your home has turned into a watery lot and the government comes to you and says, hey, I'll pay you what you paid for it. You're going to take it and you're going to go, right? What do you think is going to happen right here now that they want this lithium mine up and running by 2025, 2030 at the latest? Back in 1947, we had the Florida Georgia hurricane, or Hurricane 9, and it was the first hurricane to be targeted for weather modification. What happened was General Electric, the U.S. Navy, the Army, the Air Force, they poured dry ice into this hurricane using airplanes to see what would happen. Would they slow it down? Well, what happened was it slowed down a little bit, but it turned west really sharp. Let me show you. This is the path that the hurricane took in 1947. Does it look similar to you? Probably not. It's a coincidence, right? Moving on. I'm sure this is just another coincidence, but do you know who owns the most shares in that lithium mine? BlackRock and Vanguard.
Okay, and that's where I want to stop it because let me close this and go back to my other thing. Okay, good. See, I still got the warning there, but hopefully you still see me. Yeah, so let's talk about that for a moment. Lithium mining by a company that's owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. Now, where have we heard about BlackRock before? Oh, yeah, that's right. The shooter at Butler, PA, and was associated with them, as was the attempted shooter at the golf course for Trump. Interesting. Also, an interesting note, Trump wants to drop the mandate for electric cars that they want to impose on people by 2030. Meanwhile, an estimated 25 million or more illegal immigrants have entered our country, and the administration wants them in. Why? All right. Migrant crime, as they call it, is getting out of hand, and even the people of North Carolina are not immune, as the people arrested 8 illegal immigrants trying to loot people's homes after this hurricane. Yet Kamala insists that we stop calling them criminals. Okay, with all the stuff that's going on, with all the stuff that's happening, I have to, I mean, there's so much. Okay, so we got the lithium mines. We've got and what's Joe Biden doing? Well, Joe Biden is going back to his home in Delaware. He's not giving any more help to the hurricane victims. Comrade Kamala is I think hosting another fundraiser. Is she doing that to bring money to the victims? Nope, she is bringing her money for her campaign. And how many of you caught the? How many of you caught the? How many of you caught the debate between J.D. Vance and our friend there, Tampon Tim? I thought it was very, very interesting. Let me go back over here. Yeah, they were, and this is true. This is the debate in an image. J.D. Vance kept looking at the camera every time Vance was talking. Waltz was talking. It was really crazy. And Vance called out the moderators for lying to the audience. And Vance made this comment saying, "I've become friends with school shooters." Isn't that great? He made a comment during that. Now, maybe it was a faux pas on his part. But that's kind of serious. And then he also called himself a knucklehead because they challenged him on the they challenged him on his trip to China, where he said, "Oh, I've gone to China and I'm going to I was there during Tiananmen Square on that uprising." No, you weren't, and because of that, they ridiculed him for it, and he said, "Oh, I'm a knucklehead." And she said, "Well, did you lie?" He said, "Oh, I just misspoke." Okay, yeah, and he misspoke about his war record. He misspoke about a lot of different things. Okay, so what is happening in this country? This is why I've had some problems getting a show out, because I just don't know where to start anymore. There's so many things going on. For a while I'm doing shows on false teachers. And it's very, very, important that we understand that. But there's a bigger problem too, that if we don't pay attention to it, we're going to have a lot of issues. And that is, there is a one world government that's trying to be formed. And the only thing standing in its way right now is the United States. Every other country in this world wants to go to a one world government, a one world monetary system, a one world religion. Yeah, they're setting up for the Antichrist. Definitely. This is what's going to happen. The Great Tribulation is going to happen during the Great Tribulation period. Thankfully, Christians will be out of here. But I don't know what's going to happen. If the United States falls before the rapture, which it might, I would suggest that we have to be prayed up and everything else. So, where am I going with this? It's just that there's so much happening. There's so much coming into place. Israel is going to attack Iran for the hundreds of rockets that they've launched at Israel. Netanyahu's not playing games, and he's not going to be hindered by the United States anymore. He is going to do what he has to do. Are we seeing the Ezekiel 38 war? Maybe. We don't know what Russia's going to do. Russia doesn't care about Israel. Russia doesn't care about Iran. They're just using them as pawns. And I just don't know what to do. Lori has been talking with people online that say, "Oh, Trump is the Antichrist." What? Well, they're looking. They're not even going to vote. Christians, let me tell you something. This is very important. Christians have got to get out and vote. All right, we're not voting for a pastor. We're voting for a national leader who, one of two things are going to happen, okay? Either Kamala and they cheat and get into the White House, and at which point you can kiss everything you like goodbye. They're going to persecute the churches. They're going to take away your guns. They're going to instill this new world order as the United States falls. All right? Or you can vote for Trump. Now, a lot of people have some problems with Trump. I understand that. I don't like all of his things either. But at least the man gives you, he wants what's best for America. And like I said, if you think you're better off now than you were 4 years ago, you need to raise your hand and slap yourself with it, because we're not. Gas has doubled, food has doubled in a lot of places. Sometimes more. I just saw a post from, I think it was Atlanta, Georgia. They're paying them $10 for a jar of mayonnaise. I mean, come on, $10 for a dozen eggs. You know, this is insane, and it's not by coincidence that we're seeing longshoremen strikes. This hurricane. This is all being put together for a reason. And I think we need to start paying very, very close attention to it. All right. So I would encourage you to get out and vote. Vote, vote, vote. Vote like you've never voted before. Get people out there, and you know, no matter what they try to do, is they are trying. Now, Hillary said that there's going to be some kind of October surprise. I don't know what that means exactly. I'm a little concerned about that, but you need to get out there and vote. Don't let them take away our freedoms. It's our responsibility as Christians to stand up against evil, and if we let evil take over this country, you know, we're done. We're done. I'm praying that God doesn't allow this country, though I know He's removed His hand from a lot of things, because look what we're doing. We're allowing the LGBT crowd, all of this stuff, and you know, I mean, look at what happens here. Look at what happens here. Look at what Isaiah said. For behold, the Lord of hosts takes away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stock and the store, the whole supply of bread and the whole supply of water. The mighty man and the man of war will be taken away. The judge and the prophet will be taken away, and the diviner and the elder will be taken away. The captain of 50 and honorable men, the counselor and the skillful artisan and the experienced enchanter. I will give children to their princes, and babes shall rule over them, and the people will be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child will be insolent towards the elder, and the base towards the honorable. When a man takes hold of his brother and the house of his father, saying, "You have clothing, be our ruler," and let these rulers be under your power. In that day he will protest, saying, "I cannot cure your ills, for in my house is neither food nor clothing. Do not make me a ruler of the people." Verse 8 of chapter 3 of Isaiah. For Jerusalem stumbled, and Judah is fallen, because of their tongue and their doings are against the Lord. This is a forewarning here. To provoke the eyes of his glory, to look on their countenance witnesses against them. The look on their countenances witness against them, as they declare their sin as Sodom. They do not hide it. Woe to their soul, for they have brought evil upon themselves. Say to the righteous that it shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe to the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given to him. For my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, to those who lead, O my people, those who led you cause you to err and destroy the way of your paths. look, we're in a place where women are ruling over, men are becoming little babies. Okay, and so it's just bad. So pray for this country. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for Israel. Pray for pray for our leaders. Pray for President Trump, and get out there and vote. It's so important. Got to get out there and vote. Don't let Satan, who is doing his own thing now. You know, I mean, when you look around at all the things that are happening, you say to yourself, oh, what's going on? Or, Lord, to whom shall we go? Well, to who else are we going to go to but to Jesus Christ? Because he has the words of eternal life. And we must believe and be sure that he is the Christ, the Son of the living God, which he is. And the rapture is going to be coming very soon. I hope I see the rapture. If I don't, I know when I pass from this life to eternal life, I am going to be with Jesus. And I just think it's going to be wonderful. So, all right. Well, look, God bless you guys. I'm going to go. And I just pray for us. And we'll make sure we get some more shows out to you soon. God bless. Have yourself a good week. And don't forget to let me hear from you. Like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.